to Tate and Josh in the Morning. This is podcast number 50.
The Big 50. We're over the hill now.
We're growing, guys. We're growing, as you can see. We now have video. We've got new mic stands. Got a fantastic guest over here.
It's your boy, Dayton.
This
Also
guy,
known as Skinny Penis,
And D. Wilkes.
aka Daytona.
this guy right here, he's one of the guys you'll have on this big job spray.
It ain't much, but it's honest.
He's one of the he's a pipe fitter at heart. I mean, if we're gonna be honest. But welcome to the podcast, boys, girls, ladies, and gentlemen of all ages.
I'm gonna say this, to be honest, you're lucky you're getting the shit for free because this is kind of shit you should have to pay for today.
Exactly.
Yeah, this is like quality. This is like that Pornhub premium.
Gotta be.
This right here is at $5.99 a month.
Yeah, you should have to have a subscription, I feel like. Maybe one day.
This is the OnlyFans podcast right here.
That's bad.
I mean, look at this mullet over here. You guys can finally see this fucking mullet. Josh, if you will, just fucking take it off and let this thing float, buddy. Holy shit.
I'm pregnant.
It's a pretty erotic mullet, if I had to say so myself.
It's like, I mean, you know, I may talk a lot of shit saying you look like the captain of a co-ed softball team named Devin. But it is a nice, I mean, you have a nice head, like your head is very proportional, your hair is nice, it's
I feel like my head is really round.
Your head is nice. I mean,
feel
it's
like
like,
it's round.
like if I had that head on this body, I'd basically be unfucking stoppable.
Courtney wouldn't be sitting in that chair.
Oh God, she'd be sitting on my face. She's nasty. That's the time my wisdom teeth cut out, though. Just infections.
All right, guys. Well, back to the thing. Podcast. Welcome to our 50th. I had an eventful start to the weekend. This is Sunday now. Tate, how had your weekend started?
Started off by going to the protest downtown after work Friday. Interesting, to say the least. It wasn't what we expected. A lot of people there were rumors Antifa was going to be down there. Of course, that wasn't the case. But there was some people on each side of the road that had differing opinions, and there was some yelling and arguing, but there was also some good conversation had, and some people were actually willing to listen. Some people did get emotional, of course, that's how it goes when you talk politics or anything that's just, controversial, I guess. I think the protest was more geared towards the monument, the Confederate monument downtown than anything else. So
I didn't stay long enough to hear the good conversation because
there was a good conversation going on the whole time.
I sat there for about 15 minutes and I looked up at the sky and was looking at how hot the sun was.
Oh, it was a fucking scorcher.
And it was so hot, and I was looking at all these morons, and I was like, all these people. I mean, because there was literally people in each other's face just screaming. They weren't getting a point across. They weren't having a conversation. They were just screaming.
It's just it's too hot outside to be like 2 foot apart. I don't need your hot breath on me. You don't need mine on you.
Well, especially with the coronavirus going around, and you out here with your daggone dog poop breath yelling in my face.
If you want to yell at me, add me on Snapchat, Dayton Wilkes. Send me a video of you yelling because I promise you, my house is going to be cold. And I'm not, it will literally not phase me.
We can yell at each other in the living room.
Yeah, I mean, you just yell at me from the bathroom. I don't care.
Nobody, like I said, nobody came up to me. Nobody was hostile towards Tate. He was.
No, I was on both sides. I walked around, talked to everybody.
Tate was talking to everybody.
I had friends on both sides. I understand both points. I understand one point more than the others probably. I don't. And me and Josh and Matt, I don't know where Dayton stands on this. I could honestly give a shit less about that monument downtown. That's just how I did it.
Well, and the thing is, I worry about it more from a historical perspective than anything.
Well, yeah, because I mean, history, it can't be changed. What happened. There's nothing we can do about it. But once something is gone, it is gone.
Well, and I mean, there's been talk about moving it towards to the northern. What's that place over there? The cemetery behind Seth Morton's place.
Oh, I don't know, but I know what you mean.
That's the big one over there.
Yeah, they're talking about moving over there, and I think that would be fine for everybody.
I don't care. I don't care if they move it. I don't care if they tear the bitch down.
My concern.
I didn't know it was there until I heard about this protest.
My concern.
I really didn't.
I've always known it was there, but I did a project on it in high school.
I thought it was the guy that started Dublin.
But anyway,
I have no. I still don't. Who is it?
I don't know. It's not Ulysses S. Grant. I don't know.
It's a who is it?
I don't know.
I fucking don't even
Probably
know.
Uncle Jesse out for the Duke boys.
But anyway, so these guys, I mean, if they vote, here's what I think it needs to come down to. It needs to come down to people who live in the city of Georgia should be able to vote on it. Nobody should be able to make this decision. Those people from out of town should not be able to make this decision, and it should be solely up to the citizens here.
Well, I'll be honest with you. I know a lot of people were saying the people protesting it were from out of town. I was over there, and I knew at least 80% of the people over there were from the.
Oh, and a lot of them were.
Yeah.
But Hensley, their leader, what's his name? Something Jesus. What?
Oh, you talking about the dude that had the megaphone?
Yeah.
I actually think he does live in Dublin now.
I think that's the police chief's brother.
No, we're talking about. He wasn't there actually. I don't
You
think.
talking about the guy that started it on Facebook?
Yeah,
Everybody was
he's like,
"We're gonna shut down here, do."
Well,
I know what you're talking
and
about,
dude, right now we got more things. We've got more things to worry about than coronavirus. We have more things to worry about than this Black Lives Matter movement. We have more things to worry about than this people not wanting this statue. Right now, we're at a critical point in history, and so I don't think people down there yelling at each other makes any sense whatsoever, because you're not having conversation. And the guys who were down there on the monument side, they wanted to stay there. Dude, I'm not against the rebel flag. I don't care. It is what it is. I have a rebel or old Georgia State flag on the front of my truck.
I've got a that represents the same flag.
But
Maybe even out him.
But
For the ladies.
you do, when you're down there and you're waving your rebel flag and you're yelling at people, and then also have your Trump flag up there as well. To me,
It
that
makes a
does
true
not.
Trump supporter look bad.
Exactly. It doesn't make you look like you want good conversation. It doesn't make you look like you have sense.
It pretty much
So,
makes you look like you're following
It
on
makes
the bandwagon.
it makes the Make America Great Again brand look bad.
Yeah.
Well, my
And
thing
that was my concern. That's why I said there's morons on both sides, because these people were making the movement look bad.
Well, according to the people that were in the Morris State Bank parking lot, they were down there to protect Dublin from Antifa. Were the Trump flags and the rebel flags really necessary to do that?
No,
Like
it
I
wasn't.
said, it made
Here's my thing. They could have went down there with their rebel flags and just their rebel flags alone, and I would have been fine with that. Or they could have gone down there with their Trump flags and just their Trump flags alone. I would have been fine with that. But don't mix Trump supporters in with your stuff.
Yeah, I don't even see why they need any flag, honestly. Just fucking go down there. If you want to protect it, just go down there and stand.
Just go down there and stand.
They
Because
came down there looking for confrontation, in my opinion. When you bring the Trump flag and you bring the rebel flag down there, I feel like you are looking for confrontation rather than just talking and having a civilized conversation. You're looking to get confrontational and looking to get emotional, in my opinion.
Well, I do. That's 100% right. They went down. I think they went down there on both sides. They went down there just to piss the other people off.
Well, I will say this. I talked to a guy that was with the people protesting the Confederate flag, and the only reason he came down there is because he was on Facebook and these news outlets were there and going live, and he seen the rebel flags, he seen the Trump supporters. He was like, well, fuck. I don't think Black Lives Matter had organized this, or anybody affiliated with that movement had organized this rally at all. I don't know who got the permit to protest or what. You don't even need a permit to protest. I talked to my friend that's a police officer that was down there.
It's freedom of speech.
Yeah, he said you don't even need a permit. So all those rumors is what led up to this bullshit happening, in my opinion.
Opinion is like buttholes. Everybody's got them. Nobody
Speaking of bullshit, never mind, we're not gonna go there.
Dude, misinformation's a dangerous thing. You look at what happened in Chicago 2 or 3 weeks ago. I know we talked about this.
Mm-hmm.
There was a armed black man who shot a police. The police ended up having to kill him. And then they started saying it was a 14-year-old girl. Riots started before anybody even knew what really would happen.
Yeah,
So,
so
All they heard
Chicago.
was it was a police shooting. Well, you know what? Fuck it. Police shoot. Don't care who or what. I'm going to destroy my
Yeah.
city. That's really a good way to think about it.
yeah. Well, boys and
All right,
girls,
so
we're going to try to get out of
about,
this.
we're not talking about
50th
politics
podcast.
anymore. This is all about us and our grind we've taken to get to this point in our podcast lives. Go ahead, Odo, take it away.
Okay, so we're gonna kind of get into like what started us podcast and why we wanted to start a podcast. I know I've been watching podcasts for a long time. I think when I started working at Public Works, I got sick of just listening to music all the time.
Yeah.
And so I started finding some podcasts I really like. Honestly, I don't even listen to much music anymore at all. It's just usually I've got about 10, 15 podcasts that I have on my playlist that I just listen to.
I got into audiobooks once.
I still listen to audiobooks. I almost sound like a nerd, but I listen. My most recent listen was David Goggins' Can't Hurt Me.
Y'all remember?
He's a bad motherfucker.
Y'all
by the
remember
way.
like in like high school and all, they'd make us read these books,
Yeah.
and it was like The Giver was one, and then A Child Named It, and things like that.
To Kill a Mockingbird.
Yeah, dude, I would just catch myself like when Courtney lived in Macon, I'd be riding down the road and about half drunk in my feelings, missing my baby, and I'd be like, I wanna hear some sad shit, so I would fucking pull up an audiobook and like I'd zone out and I'd just set my cruise on 100 and I'd be like, I'm trying to get home and sleep.
With baby.
Yeah, well no, because she'd be at her house, and I'd be like,
Oh, you be
hey,
leaving
well,
and that's
yeah,
why
man,
you're
I'd
sad.
be gone. I'd be on the road. I'd be hightailing it back to Dublin, son.
You're back hometown.
East Dublin, Bruton Mafia, represent.
Well, I mean, that's kind of what got me into it, is because I just got so, I
All
really
music sounds
enjoy,
the same
I
now.
really enjoy music, don't get me wrong. I enjoy rap, country music, 80s rock. I listen to a lot of different music. But at some point I was like, dude, this doesn't create any substance. So I found a podcast and a couple different good ones, and like things that make you think. And I think that's kind of what we lack now. We pick up our phones, and everything we look at right now is just, straight visual.
Mhm.
Doesn't really make you think about much. Doesn't. So I think that's kind of the reason I got into podcasting, and then what led me to kind of get into more of the podcast instead of the live, like radio show. I was listening, big fan of Rush Limbaugh, still listen to Rush Limbaugh, but it's every day at a certain time. The beautiful thing about podcasts is because when I want to tune into a podcast, it doesn't matter if it's 7 o'clock in the morning or 10 o'clock at night. I don't miss it. I can watch as much as I want. I can pause it. That's kind of what got me into it, and I've just always thought there was something special about radio, something special about people getting their opinion out, and that's kind of what made me want to do it.
Well, it's their true voice. That's just like us sitting here right now. There's no auto tune. There's nothing. Like we're coming true, like hard in your face right now.
Oh God.
You feel me?
Super hard.
Hard, like Chinese math hard.
So, Tate, what kind of got you into the podcast?
I've listened to one podcast religiously over the past several years, and that is the Big Three Roll Up. The Big Three Roll Up is a podcast about this one guy from the university that's a fan of the University of Florida, one guy that's a Florida State fan, and one guy that's a Miami fan. That's where I got all my recruiting news. They're really good. They've done a really good job. They actually just got a studio, so hopefully one day we'll get to that milestone. So shout out to the Big Three Roll Up first of all. And then I was doing my YouTube shit, and Josh was like, dude, fuck YouTube, start doing podcasts. And I was like, dude, podcasts suck. I only listen to one podcast that's even remotely good. So I was like, no. Well, then I started fiddling around did a podcast or two on my own, and I would walk into where Josh was working at. He'd be listening to Joe Rogan, or I don't know what the fuck he listens to, some wild shit, and I'd get pissed. I'm like, listen to my podcast, quit fucking. Anyway, long story short, Josh became my co-host, and we never looked back. And so really, Josh got me into the podcast game, put me on.
This is probably the only podcast that I enjoy tuning into. Like,
It's pretty fun. We talk a lot of shit.
getting off work at 7 in the morning, and coming inside and taking a shower.
You'll have that on those big
You,
drums.
every day. And like I'll just lay my phone in the bed and all I hear is just straight up heat. Like my phone, I've had about 3 phones this morning.
You can't even scoff at this podcast, dude.
No,
You can't.
definitely not. It should be a sin. One of the 7 deadly sins, I would say.
I never heard a podcast till I started hanging out with you guys. Like until I started listening to them, I never cared to hear one because I was like, I don't want to just hear people talk. I want to see stuff. I want to see like fucking tree fall or something.
No, dude, that was the
Well,
best
now-
thing about working in the QC lab is I would sit in there for 8 hours and listen to podcast upon podcast.
And now you can see us. You can see us live and in color. Hello,
Dude, I
camera.
keep forgetting the cameras over there
We're in this bitch, yo.
until I see you.
We have camera.
High
We're
contact.
official. Speaking of being able to see us now, you've heard me compliment Josh's mullet several times. Now you guys can see it in the flesh. Josh, if you don't mind, take that fucking head off and let that mullet flat, buddy. Holy shit, is that a good mullet?
Dude, this thing's dope. I
There's
mean,
no other reason for you to subscribe to this podcast other than the best mullet in the podcast game. That's fucking it right there.
this here is the Central Georgia waterfall, what you see coming down back
Oh,
here.
yeah, no doubt.
So, I mean, honestly,
Dam Buster.
and dude, it was taken when we started this podcast. I had hair like down to like my back.
Oh, yeah,
and then Tate,
girl. No offense.
Tate was the one who can kind of convinced me. We had talked about it on the podcast, and I mean, the mullets were pretty kicking.
Oh, dude, they fucking made a hell of a comeback. I actually had a mullet for a very short time. It was a shitty mullet because I cut it myself, but it was a mullet indeed.
Honestly, though, this is like,
Dayton had a mullet as well,
yeah,
didn't
he
he?
did.
And his was pretty fantastic.
I had a
rough.
little American flag in the side, you know,
Yeah.
like the fucking fast ass lightning bolts. So
Yeah,
I was like
he had an
lightning
eagle on there.
with a mullet.
I bet you it gave you 25% more.
No doubt. Two puss max.
But I mean, dude, honestly, you ever seen Batman's utility belt?
Yeah.
A mullet is basically the utility belt of the hair world.
Just no items needed.
No, because I mean, I haven't had my hair cut in like 2 or 3 weeks. You can't tell.
I mean,
And then I just kind of touch it up on the sides, and nobody knows the difference. I could be freaking 2 hours fresh off a haircut, or 4 weeks fresh off a haircut. Nobody knows.
Well, a mullet, you know, you've got certain obligations with a mullet. Like
That's true. You have to be a better man.
You have
be
to
honest.
own an IROC, or you have to have a denim jacket, or
Yeah.
you know, if you want it, you just be like, hey, you give, it's yours, you know.
Yeah, it's yours for the taking.
Yeah.
So if I see somebody with a denim jacket, should I be able to just walk up and they have to relinquish it to me?
Yeah,
Yes,
bro, I
absolutely.
got stopped at
100%.
the Perry Fair, and this guy literally pulled me away from my girlfriend and was like, hey, I want to take a picture with you. And I was like, dude, I want you to take a picture with me. And he made me
Well-
take off my hat and flop the mullet, and he was like, are you single? And I was like, no, I'm not, but thank you.
Dude,
I'm
I
flattered.
had you know you've made it when you have people of both sexes hitting on you.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
no
yeah.
doubt. I mean that's every day, but you know the mullet adds character. The mullet is like it's like a spoiler on a badass Acura. You know,
It just flaps better.
It just makes you just a better person.
Aerodynamics too.
Yeah.
Play
But
a big part.
yeah, I mean, I really do. I've never had like even when I had long hair, like I had a couple girls like come up to me and be like, "I wish I had your hair," but they never came up to me and was like,
I want to ride your hair.
"Dude, we were recently on a beach trip.
Oh God, here we go. I
And-
love this story.
Some girl just like drove her car by, and dude, she slammed on brakes. It almost gave her whiplash. My mullet can kill, so be aware."
Tokyo Drift. Of
But she
mullet.
just looked at me and she was like, "I love your mullet." No, I mean, I was just like, "Thank you."
Did you tell her you loved her?
I didn't, and see, Dayton always tells me.
You
It
gotta
doesn't
love
matter. Doesn't matter who it is
Gotta say it.
or how long you've known.
Gotta love her.
If you're with a woman, Courtney, I love you. I
It
love
worked.
her. I love her, and see, she said it back. So I mean, I win.
It's simple. It's simple. It's like Circle Life 101.
Yeah.
You know? I mean, if you don't love them, then you can't love them.
Yeah, but
Self love.
so that's kind of how we got. You know, we got off on a tangent, but that's kind of how we did get off into the podcasting world. And I've enjoyed every second of it. It's
Oh,
been
dude.
extremely fun.
It's been a wild ride.
It's really fun seeing people, like, they'll send me Snapchats of them listening to parts of the podcast that they thought were funny or intriguing, they thought they really liked. And I've actually had friends talk to me and they've changed their opinions on some things that because they heard it, we were talking about earlier, we don't really hear good conversation anymore. And because they heard me and Tate, even though me and Tate rarely disagree with each other, just us having a conversation that we come at it from both sides and talk about it. That's what makes good content, is when people can sit there, and I think that's what's the best thing about podcasts, is because you can sit there by yourself, listen to somebody else's opinion and form your own from that, or keep your own opinion, depending on what it is. But the goals of our podcast, what would you think the goals of the podcast were, Tate?
the goals of the podcast, I would say, are, of course, to grow as big as we possibly can, branch out, get more listeners, possibly some sponsors, get our own podcast studio eventually. But just to have fun is my goal, and we've already accomplished that goal. We have fun literally every time we record. It's really fun. We talk about some good topics that I otherwise probably wouldn't be informed on if I didn't do the research for the podcast.
Yeah.
So that's my goal.
Well, and I mean, that's fun too, whenever, because usually this podcast is really like free form. I mean, right now I'm looking at Tate's computer and we have like little bullet points, kind of stuff we'd like to hit on. But we don't really
do
ever.
what we want.
We don't
That's
really
the
ever
bottom line.
go like we don't really ever go by like notes and have like a straight up like this is how the podcast is going to go and we can't get off this line.
No, we get off
So
at
I mean,
least 3
y'all,
times a podcast.
I would say
don't
y'all
give
know.
a shit though.
We're on
because
right now.
we do what we want. That's why. Okay, so what's the next bullet point?
So
Speaking of that.
we're going to talk about what's in store for the listeners, and I think it's kind of been hard for. I wish we'd have had video since the beginning,
Yeah.
so they could have seen. Like the rise of the Phoenix, because we started out with some mics that looked like little bullets, dude. I mean, they were like this big. They stood on some
Shitty
tiny-
audio quality. You could hear me sneezing in the background. You could hear me fucking every time I move, my chair
the
will
only
move.
thing I did like about those mics is because I can mute myself. And those of you who've been listening, y'all know I clear my throat a lot, and I know it probably you're riding down there in the morning time, you know, just chilling, drinking your coffee, and I'll clear my throat and you about hit a freaking cone on I-75.
I mean, it's kind of scary, you know. It sounds like you're hitting a dog with a bat.
Well, and you know, I don't even, dude, I've always known I done it because my buddy Kyler, like, picks it out, and Cody Self, they pick it out every time they do it. They're like, dude, I can hear you from a mile away. You never go. Because I do it
I
constantly.
can't hear you from the office at work.
Yeah, like I do
Well,
it, dude.
let's
I
get
do
it
it.
done right
I
there,
do
boys.
it constantly, and I honestly think
Let's
I
get
gotta.
it done.
I honestly think I gotta go get my throat checked. There's
Yeah,
something
let me look
wrong.
at it.
I'll check your throat. Come here.
But
So,
that's kind of like, dude, what's in store for the listeners is that we're going to try to get more quality content. We're going to try to make, obviously, this is our first video, so that's a step. We're getting better equipment, so it'll be more quality for y'all
it's
guys.
gonna be good.
And then we're getting better guests.
Yeah.
Like
Dave, for
like
instance.
Dave.
Sorry, I'm not good enough.
No, that's what we
The
meant.
first, I don't even know what he is, bro.
He's a Dublinite.
Well,
Yeah,
50.
he's been around the
Don't
block.
you say right
Yeah.
to.
All right, so what's coming up? Let me tell you what's coming up for the podcast. Look at me when I tell you this, listeners. I want you to fucking look me in my eyes. So we're gonna zoom in right here. We have video. What more do you fucking want? Okay, I'll tell you what you want. You want a football dedicated show? We're giving that to you next week. Me, Josh, Zach Rios are doing a football show. We will have a nice little whiteboard right here with our picks every week, and then we'll have another whiteboard over there with our records on our picks. We're going to pick against the spread. We're going to tell you who to bet on. Last year, I profited probably $500-600 off betting. So if you want to bet, and you want to bet money and win money and make money, you listen to me, because I'm going to tell you who the fuck to bet on, and you will win money.
You are like a sports guru.
I will tell you I usually pick 3 games that are like no-brainers. Like I look at the spread and like, they're covering that shit, or they're not covering that shit. I'll tell you who to pick week 1, this coming up weekend. Florida State plays Georgia Tech, and right now the spread is 11 in favor of Florida State. Pick Georgia Tech. Florida State, they're breaking in a new coach. Quarterback's decent. The offensive line's still shit. They lost Cam Akers. They got Tamarian Terry. I don't know if that Wilson kid on the defensive line is even going to play. I don't even know where the game's at. Bet on Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech will cover that spread. They're not going to win by 11.
Does Tech breakout players?
I don't even think Tech needs breakout players. Last year they're still breaking in that new offense, getting away from the option. They ran more of a spread option last year. So, I mean, I don't really care. I'm just telling you. I have a gut feeling, and I might be a little biased because Florida State, I fucking hate them, and they're a shit program. But
Every gut feeling you've ever had, you've always been right about. Like, I would trust you with my life.
yeah, so bet the house on Georgia Tech to cover that spread. Florida State's not beating them by 11. I think Florida State wins the game, don't get me wrong, but I think it's a touchdown game, at the most 10 points, not 11. I mean, it's just too much. I don't see Florida State being able to stop Georgia Tech. I really don't. Their defense was very mediocre last year. So anyway, this isn't a sports podcast, but that's your first bet for the year. All right, what's the next point?
All right, boys. So we're gonna
Oh,
get
this segment is for the boys, right?
Podcast for the boys.
For the boys.
And it's gonna be just us discussing what kind of some stuff we think as
That the
young-
boys would like to
young
know
men.
about
and
us.
we also have, as we've said, we have our female counterpart in here, and she's gonna disagree or agree with us.
So, and girls, pay close attention to this, because if you want to court one of our beautiful members on the podcast, me or Josh, dating's off limits, by the way.
Thanks.
Don't get your hopes up. Me and Josh are on the market though. Will, no fucking chance he's getting a girl. But if you would like to court us or take us on a date, these are the things you're going to want to know about us. Or
If you
take
see
someone.
young William in public,
Show me titty.
well, don't even do that.
No,
because
you don't
you'll
show
frighten
that shit. They showed them yours.
You'll
That's why you're single, because you're trying to show titty.
Just
You
one.
don't do
You'll,
that.
you'll fright if you walk up to him and you are a female of the female
You
form.
probably think you're about to get tied in a fucking trunk of a car.
For sure.
Okay, guys. So one of the things we're going to talk about is your biggest pet peeve in a female companion.
Okay. This is tough. But my biggest pet peeve would have to be a lying bitch. And I don't mean every girl's a bitch, so don't cancel culture. You can't cancel me because I'm not getting paid, so fuck off for once. I can't stand somebody that lies. Like, just be honest with me. That's my biggest pet peeve. If you lie to me one time, I'm never gonna trust you again. The shit's over. Like, especially most of the time I've been lied to is about some dumb shit I wouldn't even care about. But the fact that you lied to me pisses me off and makes me care about it. You know what I mean? So my biggest pet peeve is don't fucking lie to me.
That's a pretty good one.
Dude, as most of you know, my dating life have not been superb.
It's been decent though. Here recently,
Not dating,
since you've
not
been a
dating life though. Like,
since you've been a podcast star, you've gotten some females. You know.
I've never had like a legit girlfriend.
His last
Like,
girlfriend was like 4 years ago.
I've never
I
had
haven't
one.
either.
You've never had a girl. Oh,
No, I've
fuck.
never had like a legit girlfriend like
Wait a
dating.
minute.
So I might be
Corey is
gay.
about to go on Facebook. We
No,
got-
she can get. I mean, you can go look.
We got Trigger over here, bro. We got this.
Oh, so she's
Or
gonna
she
hook
can
you
on
up.
Facebook. So,
I recommend Tinder.
and well, I mean, number one reason, if you know me and you knew me in high
I
school,
like Tinder.
you know exactly why I didn't have a girlfriend. Because I was 5'4" and looked like a 12-year-old.
Absolute fucking.
As I walked
Papa Duck and Tax.
on the stage,
Hell yeah.
walking off to get my graduation. So that could probably lead to some things.
But now you're a whole lot of man with a fucking mullet.
I am a lot of that now.
You are, man.
And so we done, dude. I guess my pet. I don't even know. I'll just say my pet peeve
Or
from
turn off. It doesn't have to be a pet peeve.
experience from people who date like and are out there in the dating world. Because like my thing, I've always liked doing my own thing, and like if I want to go do so, say dating Collins, like, hey, let's go drink some beers and just float the river. I know some people that their old ladies would be like, you're not doing that today. We're sitting in the house and we're gonna watch The Devil Wears Prada, and you're gonna like it.
Hey, that really don't sound like a bad idea.
And I mean, it doesn't. I mean, there's definitely, I'm not down on it. There's definitely perks to it. Like, look
I'll
what I'm
drop you
gonna
off and
do.
pick you up.
Look what I'm gonna do when I leave this. I'm gonna go home, probably drink a couple of beers, maybe a little mixed drink here and there, and then play with my dog in the yard. That's all I got going for me. So I'm not down on you people. So, but I think my biggest pet peeve is because I screw up a lot. I do a lot of things that people just generally don't. People don't like in general.
You,
So
you have a very complex thinking system. And like people just don't like that. They can't process what's in
what
that
goes
coconut.
on.
Yeah, that tater.
Well, see, and so I guess my biggest pet peeve was that if I did have like an old lady or was in a long-term relationship and then we were around my friends and I did something, I mean, obviously everybody with your significant other, you're gonna do something to piss them off. My
That's a fact.
Every day.
biggest pet peeve
That is a fact.
is like whenever somebody, like if I had a significant other and I did something to piss her off and then she just like choose me and doing right in front of my friends. Like if I'm doing something to make you mad, hey, call me and say, hey, I need to talk to you. Pull me off to the side or wait till we get home or something.
Yeah.
But I don't like that where like I go and I'm like, oh shit. And you know, she
You
doesn't
argue
like your
in
tone
private.
or
You
she
argue
doesn't.
in private.
Yeah, and then like not even to argue. If I do something to make you mad, I want to know about it. Like, I mean, that's not what I'm saying.
But you don't have it. You don't
But-
move around the people you associate yourself
Yeah,
with.
don't bust me out in front of all our friends. I mean, obviously there's exceptions to the rule. Like if I was belligerently drunk or some shit.
Or fingering another female. Then
Oh yeah, I
absolutely,
mean, she
you know
could
what
definitely be pissed off about that.
If you were knuckle deep in
there's
a
probably not
dirt
gonna
league.
be, there's probably not going to be any more conversation after that.
They better be pissed off and pissed on, right?
But that's kind of my pet. You can't really. There's not really that many things that get on my nerves that, other than like, and I know people are gonna be like, "Oh, dude, you cuss all the time." With when a female excessively cusses, and I know it's hypocritical. Don't at me, bro.
Don't fucking judge me.
But when a female just cusses like constantly,
I fucking love it. I'll be honest with you, I absolutely love it. But we're gonna get to that next. Go ahead.
Dayton, what do you got, buddy?
My pet peeve, honestly, is
Dude, she just pulled out a pen and paper.
I don't care. My pet peeve is, say you got this girl, comes from, you know, a not too good family. You know, she doesn't have really a lot going for her. Meets this guy that's pretty well off. Girl forgets where she comes from.
I can see that.
You feel
Yeah.
like
Because they kind of feel like snotty to you
they
in a way
feel like they're
because
better because they're
of who
with
they
someone who can do for them that they couldn't, that they couldn't do for themselves.
Right.
And I'm not saying it's the woman's fault. I'm not saying it's the man's fault. If you're a woman and your man has his shit together, he has a good job, he is financially stable, don't think that you are better than everybody else.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
that's
mean,
a
I
good
can
point.
agree with that.
That's a good point.
Which I mean, that
Never
comes,
forget where you come
that
from.
comes in,
100%.
that comes in all forms because you can have people who, like, you hang out with people who are extremely well off. You go on all the trips, you just tag along, and you kind of act like uppity, and
Like, dude, I remember whenever you were shitting in your fucking floor because you were sick and your parents were drunk as shit and couldn't take you to the doctor. Like, don't try me like that, you know?
Yeah, I know exactly what
Well,
you're
that's just like
Yeah.
y'all with this other points. Whenever y'all get filthy rich billionaires on this podcast, I'm still gonna call y'all and talk shit like I do every
Oh,
day.
absolutely.
and we're inviting you when we
And you're
move.
gonna come ride my
I-
Rolls Royce with me.
Dude, I haven't
I'm
yet.
gonna whip the family.
Tate's already came out and said he's buying a Rolls Royce Phantom,
Oh yeah.
and honestly,
Yeah, absolutely. V12.
yeah,
fuck
I
with
mean, we might even hire. We're not. Well, I would say we get young Will over here to drive it, but there's no trust in that
No,
kid.
you know how my insurance fee? This fucker can't drive worth a fuck.
Dude, I'll drive us. Y'all know I have a pretty shitty track record for driving, but it's
It'll be alright. We got insurance.
fuck
We're
it. I
good.
don't have no DUIs. I mean, I got a couple wrecks under the belt.
We haven't really decided where we're gonna go.
Right.
We've discussed it. If the podcast does blow up, there's about 3 options: Nashville,
Mhm.
Austin, Texas.
Austin, Texas. We
Or LA.
never discussed that.
Yeah, we did.
Dude,
We
I'm
were
sure
talking. Yes, we were talking about
Alright, well, there's only 2 options: LA or Nashville. Tate's not going to Austin, Texas, buddy.
wow, Texas.
1, it's hot as fuck.
Mhm.
2,
But it's not humid out there, I don't think.
We'll go. We'll check it out. We'll look into it. I've been to Dallas. I would prefer Dallas, but that's just me because I'm a Cowboys fan. I could attend all games. Plus, you know what else is in Austin? The University of Texas, and I fucking hate the University of Texas because I know where Rios.
Texas is the best.
Fuck Texas. All right.
But okay, so
Back to reality.
what is like y'all's biggest turn on in a
Turn
nice
on.
female lady?
I like what? It's really simple. My biggest turn on is somebody that just takes care of themselves. They got nice hair. They got decent teeth.
Breath
you know,
don't stink.
breath don't stink. Just takes care of herself. As long as you're not looking thrown away or anything, I can pretty much deal with anything else. But my turn on is when they're well groomed. I'm like, damn, she take care of herself. That means she can take care of daddy. You know what I mean? And it's that for sure. All right, put over yours.
Dude, mine is curly long hair. If she's got like that natural wavy curl going on, buddy, it's a wrap. She can take me and lock me up in a cage, boy. I don't care. Like, it's just like, dude, curly, brown hair, black hair, blonde hair. If it's like wavy
Red. You
curly,
forgot red.
I'm not into it, dude.
I like red.
I'm not into it.
I like anybody really.
I mean, I like females of all forms, but
Well,
'Cause you gotta love them.
yeah, but I mean, there's a limit.
There is a limit.
There's a weight limit.
But
You gotta draw the line somewhere.
For those of you that are bigger than me, Tate or Hutto, I'm sorry, but we are not in the market.
I'm in the market.
I am too. Facts.
I'm in the market.
I've
buddy.
never had a
I
girlfriend.
promise you.
dude.
It's a big girl.
I don't care. I'm in the market, buddy. I'm open to all, as long as you're well groomed, as long as you don't come in here with some grocery store feet and fucking like teeth rotted
Bra
out.
strap showing over your wife.
Dude,
fucking
no,
tank
that
top.
dude.
Yeah.
That's
So-
what, dude. If a girl right now, just, I mean, even like just walked in, and her hair looks a little in a mess, and she's wearing like a cheetah print or a pink bra and a wife beater,
Oh yeah.
and she's got a cigarette inside.
Oh, no.
Bro,
Hold on.
we'll write it up. Dude.
Those,
I'm done.
those of you that know me from a long time ago know one of my turn-ons is I probably wouldn't date this person,
Is it?
but oh, fuck no. Is cigarettes. If a girl smokes a cigarette, you know she knows her way around the pole, buddy.
If she'll smoke a cigarette, she'll suck a dick.
That's a fact.
Facts.
I've known this to be true.
Is it true?
Hutto's playing Pac-Man over there. I don't know what the fuck he's doing. But,
I'm fucking taking
I do
that.
find cigarettes.
yeah.
Will you stop fucking around, please? Tattoos too. I do like tattoos.
I
really
do. I mess with okay.
Like sleeves, I like it. It's just-
The girls, this trend, dude, check out that thing.
Check out that fucking tramp stamp on that unit.
Wait, she's got a tramp stamp?
She's got a fucking Georgia piece on her ankle. It looks like a
It's my
titty.
third
It
titty.
does look like a
It
titty.
looks like a titty nipple.
I like that tattoo.
I do too.
You can have it. I'll cut it off and bring it to
I
you.
wouldn't like it on a dude.
No. But
I'll
dude,
just hang it on the
okay,
refrigerator.
the new trend of girls getting like, I don't know if I'm down with the whole sleeve,
I'm down with the whole sleeve.
but the girls that get like this, like that, the little like flowery outline, dude,
I fucks with all tattoos,
I'm
right?
so hard.
I love tattoos. Don't go to my web browser. Tats and cigs.
Tats and cigs. Type in Pornhub tats plus cigs.
Yeah.
Big bitch smokes Pall Malls while getting a tattoo.
That's me right there.
Tate's smooth out of socks.
Are you a socks on or socks off kind of guy?
Oh, definitely socks off.
Socks off, Corey
Socks off.
Thatcher. He's socks
true.
off guy.
It's happened both
Because
ways.
my underwear are not far from me because if shit goes down,
You gotta run.
I'm not fighting naked.
That's
Because
true.
This hog is gonna like they're gonna look at me like that guy's like a piece of shit because he's got tiny penis, but I'm like it's okay. Cause I've got a bunch of guns, you know, I will bust your shit.
TPL, tiny penises matter.
Yeah, I mean it's like a little light switch, but it's alright. I'll turn your lights out, motherfucker. Feel me?
Facts. Big facts.
But I mean, that's kind of, there's like, I don't know if there's like just a specific thing. I think it just depends on like the individual. You know what I'm saying?
I
Like,
think my turn on mine's kind of a tape, but like I don't think somebody that can take me from me because we can all three agree or all two agree. I'm not the nicest guy to get along with. I can be a dick.
We all can.
if you meet
For
Dayton
sure.
Wilkes at a certain time in the morning,
Oh yeah, I'm unbearable.
and it's like definitely on a Tuesday.
Yeah.
Tuesdays are his worst days.
Tuesdays are my worst days.
And you'll just walk by, and you would think by this podcast that we always talked and was always friendly. You'll walk by Dayton, be like, "What's up, bub?" And this cat will look at you, nod his head, and just keep walking.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Tuesdays are bad days.
We
for
all
me.
we all have those days though.
Yeah, we
really.
do.
Especially
Every
early in
day.
the morning for me. I'm not a big talker in the morning. I just like to go to work and start working to talk. You know what I mean?
I like a girl that can handle me when I menstruate, and that can handle me when I get pissed drunk and chase my dogs around the yard. So I mean, if you can do that,
Do your dogs enjoy it?
dude, yeah, they love running, and I love running behind them.
Dude,
My dog
Dayton's
runs
got
so
a
fucking fast.
Dayton's got a pit bull that looks like a corn dog.
She really does. Like,
She
if you
looks
think
just like a
about it,
corn. If you stuck a stick in that dog's ass,
I'll kill you.
it would look just like a corn dog.
I'd have to kill you.
For sure. All right, what we got next?
We were talking about something earlier, but I think we kind of need to do like a would you rather thing. I think that would be funny.
Yeah, because you know one was shot or molested. I mean, that's a pretty touchy
That
subject.
is.
Is that what we're gonna do right now?
No, we're just doing
do
would you rather.
Would you rather?
Okay. Well, start it off. Would I rather what?
Would you rather be on a deserted island with nothing but a butter knife
Wait, what? Start over. I got a text. That was troubling. Continue.
Christ.
It was troubling?
Yeah.
Well,
Alright, come on.
would you rather be stuck on a deserted island with nothing to hunt with but a butter knife and a bow with no arrows? So like you basically have to shoot this butter knife.
No, you could fucking
you
or
could-
build an arrow.
Or
For sure.
be stuck with Lizzo for a year in her apartment, but at the end of the year, you get $500,000.
Give me Lizzo.
Mm-hmm.
That's easy.
Why me and great?
I
I gotta be
That's
great.
up your alley anyway.
Right, that's
So-
what my alley. So, does she smoke? Does anybody know?
I don't know. She,
I know she's got
she
that-
definitely
It's
smokes
she
reefer.
Smokes fucking hams.
But she also does
mean-
not shower for this entire year.
Don't give a fuck. Do we have to encounter have sexual encounters?
I mean, you don't live in a penthouse. Like you live in, I mean, obviously one night you're just gonna be a cold and dreary night.
Well, I'm
You're just
fine with
gonna-
that.
Fuck it.
I mean, a couple times here and there, I'm not mad about it.
Is
And
there-
plus, I get 500 G's at the end.
Is there
Or would I rather?
No, this is
cold.
okay. I'll describe the house to you. Do you remember? Have you ever seen like an old style shotgun house?
Yeah, we own like 40 of them.
Yeah. So it's a 1920s shotgun house. No AC, no insulation.
Lizzo,
Yeah, no doubt.
because you can just get her to go out and get food,
Yeah.
and you don't have to. I'm
Oh,
not
no,
going off.
she never leaves.
Okay, then how are we gonna get food?
It's airdropped.
Okay, fine. Yeah, as long as I've got food, as long as I've got somewhere to sleep, and I'm not out on a fucking island with a butter knife, and I get $500,000, give me Lizzo.
Can confirm.
You got the same opinion?
Yeah, I mean,
$500,000 would be nice.
$500,000 would get you a long way. Like, it will literally erase the memory of you being locked up with Lizzo.
Yeah, I agree. What do you think, Odo? What's your opinion on this?
He's
I
probably
mean,
gonna say
I
some
would-
stupid shit.
Yeah, got to.
It depends on the situation.
See?
What the
When I'm on the
situation?
island, am I trapped with like one of my friends or
No,
just
you're
me?
just
You
said-
literally just said alone on an island with
Did
a
I say
fucking
alone
butter
on an
knife
island?
and a
Yes, you
fucking arrow.
Yeah, you
Okay. Depending on the region, is it like the Caribbean?
Dude, you're
That's a
asking.
year-long vacation.
You're the one that came up with this.
Yeah,
You're asking
figure out
yourself.
where it's at.
That's a year-long vacation.
Oh no, I don't think I wouldn't consider that vacation if all you've got some butter knife and a bow.
But now, hear me out. I would fuck something up with a butter knife.
Have you ever
Oh, yeah, me
watched that
too.
show?
I play enough Call of Duty. I can throw a goddamn butter knife.
Have you ever watched that show Alone where they drop the people out in this forest and whoever stays out there the longest wins?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's called. It's they do it in Alaska. They
Yeah.
put them like by a water source.
There was
and
like in a
shit.
Cayman, or no, what was it? British Columbia the
Yeah.
first time, weren't they?
That's
and dude,
Canada.
that jump was bad.
I asked my dad if he could do it. He was like, I couldn't until I ran out of blood pressure medicine. And then I was like, yeah, you'd probably be like bear shit or something.
So what is your would you rather?
Me?
Yeah.
Oh shit. Let's see. Would you rather taste piss for the rest of your life or smell shit for the rest of your life? But every week you got $1,000 cash deposited to your bank account.
For both?
No.
Just for the shit?
You got no. It can only be one. You could either smell shit for the rest of your life, or you could taste piss for the rest of your life. But either way, you had $1,000 deposited to your
Okay.
checking account every week.
So, I'm gonna smell shit because I feel like eventually, like when you first walk in the bathroom and somebody at work is just taking a fresh, nice, steamy dump,
Mhm.
it makes you gag. But after about 10 minutes,
You get used to
you
it.
get used to it.
But
It's like,
But you don't get used
Well,
to
can
this.
they can
Oh, you don't get used to it?
Fresh, warmed up dog shit.
I still got to go with
hold on,
shit.
Time
24/7.
out. Time out. Can other people smell you?
Nope.
Like so, it doesn't affect the people around. you.
Well, let's say you can smell it, but you're not sure. You're like, did I smell dog shit?
No, I'm talking about like if I had this,
Yeah, and I walk past you, I'm like, do I smell dog shit?
but
It'd
could
be
you
like
smell
that.
it? Yes.
It'd be a faint smell. Well, yeah, it smells like, pee smells like ammonia, so of course you want to smell that. But
So they can smell both.
they
That's
can smell it,
important.
but it's very, very faint. Like, if you're from me to you, you can just barely smell it. But if you're from like you to Tate, no. So any girl you try to hook up with and bring home, they're like, do I smell shit? Or do I smell pee?
So basically, you live alone for the rest of your life.
I mean,
you should find somebody that loves you for who you are, smelling like shit.
Or some girl
Amen.
who had a piss fetish.
Yeah, or a shit fetish.
there are both of us.
I'm going with the shit. I don't feel like tasting piss. I've never
See,
tasted it,
Well,
but I
depends
just
on
feel
what
like I wouldn't like
kind of
it.
piss, dude. Is
It's
it like,
fucking rough.
dude? Is it a nice hydrated piss, like, or is it I've been out on the pipeline drinking Gatorades and Mountain Dew all
Yeah,
day?
it's I chug 2 Red Bulls a day and drink no water, and then when I get off work, I kill a 12-pack every night. It's that
That's
kind of
all.
like it's pee. It's pee that looks like fucking pond water.
I think I'm gonna have to go with the Cleveland Steamer. To be
Yeah.
honest with you.
Yeah.
See, I could definitely, because I mean I like, you know, I'm a man of many pleasures. You know, I have a lavish lifestyle. I like to taste nice things. So I wouldn't want to taste piss 24/7.
Me neither.
I'd want to taste that $50 cigar I just bought,
Yeah,
or that good ass bottle of whiskey that somebody brought me.
yeah. I think I'd rather taste good stuff
Because I
than
think
smell good
eventually,
stuff.
dude, you could buy stuff to overpower the.
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
I don't think you're ever powering shit, buddy.
No, sir, because I smell my dog shit and it smells horrible.
All right.
Absolutely garbage.
All right, so I got one.
Get one.
Would you rather, okay, erase everything in your, would you rather start life over knowing what you know now, like be born and you have that knowledge now, or would you rather get $10 million cash deposited in your bank today,
Is it untaxed?
untaxed, 10 million in your bank account
I
today?
get that 10 mil.
Yeah, I'm getting it 10 million because, all right, even though you could go back and you could like reverse some of the mistakes you made,
Fucking
That's not gonna
bitches.
make me $10 million.
that's still you're not gonna. There's a possibility your life turns out way more terrible than it already
Well,
is.
let me tell you what I'm doing. I'm going back in time with the knowledge I know now. I'm gonna write down yesterday's lottery numbers, and I'm going back.
Raggedy bitch. You
And
didn't
I'm
say
going-
nothing about that.
No, I'm just kidding. All things aside, I'd probably take the 10 million because I don't want to start life over again.
I like my life.
Yeah, I like where I'm at right now.
I've got a
So
good life and good friends.
I got good life, good friends, decent job. I mean, can't really ask for much more.
Ain't
I love Dublin, Georgia. To be honest, a lot of people say they hate it, but I love it. So I'm just gonna take the 10 million and fucking help. Me and my friends are gonna blow it in one day for sure. I'm buying the Rolls Royce Phantom right off that.
Buy 2 of them, one for me, one for you.
I bet. Done deal. All right, so that does it for the Would You Rather segment. That was pretty fun. I
Yeah,
enjoyed
Pretty
that.
good one.
We're gonna have now we're gonna kind of have a story time segment.
Yeah, Josh, go ahead. Start with your stories.
I have
Pretty
a
fucking great.
I had a fantastic. We went into a friend's house and cooked some birds and made some food, hung out with some friends, had a good time. So last night, and I've been trying to better myself. So whenever we go to occasions like that, I'll bring like 6 or 7 beers. So I don't end up, being
Kids right.
responsible these days. So
She's just trying to find a good wife.
I asked Courtney, hey girl,
She's for sale.
I got a dog.
She loves dogs.
And Molly. But so anyway, we all did. Nobody got rowdy. We had a really good time. Which I mean, really, the friend group that we have, I've been extremely blessed with the guys and great gals that I hang out with because we all get along great, have a good time. There's really no drama, to be honest with you, and that's what I really like about my group of friends. But so I get going home, and right there, as you pull up to the Sousa's big house, there was a roadblock
Dun dun dun.
by the Georgia State Patrol.
Big hats.
So we get down there. I pull up to him, roll down my window, took out my driver's license and my concealed carry permit, handed that to him, showed him where the gun was in my vehicle. He said, "Mr. Hunter, will you step out of the vehicle?" I said, "Yeah, that'll make you feel more comfortable." I mean, today's climate. I've got a firearm, blah, blah, blah.
They're gonna blast your dumbass.
So,
Nice mullet.
whatever
Too bad
makes-
it's like
yeah.
you fucked up.
whatever makes them feel more comfortable is fine with me. It doesn't bother me. So what I did was I got out and he said, "Mr. Hunter, have you been drinking any alcohol?" And I told him, I said, "I've drank 6 or 7 beers that took me to a friend's house. My house is a quarter mile from this way." And I asked him, I said, "Was I stopped for any other reason than the roadblock?" And he was like, "No, sir, I could smell a hint of alcohol and I'd like to do a field sobriety test." So obviously, I've only drank 7 beers, passed the field sobriety test with flying colors, passed my breathalyzer test, but during the middle of my field sobriety test. He's doing the little fingers thing. And I'm sitting there watching his finger, you know, going back and forth. And out of the corner of my eye, there was 4 Georgia State Patrol down there. They were at every intersection. I see this state patrol car just creeping forward. And I'm trying not to watch it because at the time I don't know if there's somebody in there. But
You're trying not to get a DUI.
yeah, I'm trying to pay attention to what he's doing for me, in front of me. I had to stop him. I was like, dude, you need to turn around and look at that. And he was like, what? I said, dude, look. He turns around, dude. This state patrol car rolls off into this deep, deep ditch. I'm talking about it's deep enough for like if you walked off into it, you bust your nugget. So it goes off. All of a sudden we hear clang, clang, clang. This thing goes up and is laying in the ditch, and both of its rear wheels are sticking up in the air. So we're both tripping out, and I looked at this dude, and I was like, man, I don't know if I'm the one who needs to be doing this breathalyzer test right now. And I mean, he was a decent guy. He tripped out with me. We thought it was hilarious because obviously it wasn't his vehicle, so he didn't care. So I went on, dude, he told me like I passed my breathalyzer, everything was good, and I was within the legal limits, and I drove home. Well, I get home, I get on PlayStation. I'm talking to some of my friends to tell them about it, and I was like, dang, I didn't get a picture of it. And it was literally a quarter mile from my house. I was like, I'm going to walk back down there and take a picture of it because nobody was on PlayStation. I didn't have anything to do. I was tired. I wasn't tired, so I was like, I'll just go down here. Well, I get down there. The wrecker's already pulling it out. So I'm already down there. I told him, I was like, I just came to take it. And he was like, so me and the dude started talking. We were just shooting the shit. This truck pulls up. One of the officers approaches the vehicle. And when I tell you, Bud started burning them 32s down and hauled natural born ass before the dude could even he was like right up on the vehicle. Smokes it. And that state patrol officer looked at me and he goes, Hutto, or he didn't go Hutto, he's like, Josh, you need to go home. And I was like, okay. Started walking, dude. Every one of them gets in their vehicles and just smokes it, dude. You can hear them redlining the whole way down the road.
It's high speed pursuit, buddy.
Yeah. And apparently Tate sent me this morning when I went, because I called Tate and told him about it.
It was 1 fucking a.m. I'm dead asleep. My phone starts ringing. This Josh. I was like, normally for a lot of people I wouldn't answer. I'd ignore that shit. But I was like, Josh is the kind of guy that could have gotten some trouble. I might need to help him out.
Maybe he needs assistance.
Yeah, so I answered, and Josh proceeded to tell me this story, and I was like, holy fuck, that's funny.
So,
and then I'm on Facebook this morning just scrolling, like half awake, and I see one of my friends talking about a dude wrecking a dually truck into their field, and the cops out there chasing the motherfucker. And I was like, because Josh was like, I'm gonna walk back down there. I want to see what happened, if they caught this dude or what. So I screenshot it, sent it to him. So I guess they caught him. He wrecked, and he fucking dipped out.
From the Facebook post, it looks like he's still at large.
Buddy is on the road.
Yeah, because she said something about a track star, right? She said he dipped. He got out the truck and fucking outran.
Buddy hit that daggone 3-time world champ track record.
Straight up, Usain bolted that bitch.
Put the burners on him.
We'll holler at you.
He did, dude. That shit was hilarious.
And he must have been fast because all these dudes down there looked like they was in pretty good shape.
State Patrol stay in pretty good shape.
Yeah, they look like they could be some track stars too.
They are pretty fast.
So
from experience, they are pretty fast.
But dude, if you know me, I just like the funny, tiny little things. And when I saw that car roll off in that ditch, I told him, he was like, sir, we're gonna have to start this all over. And I was like, it's worth it, because I laughed for at least 2 minutes, and we had to hold off what we were in the middle of doing a field sobriety test.
Did it fuck up the car?
Apparently not, because when Buddy tore out.
Okay, so that's what that car was involved in the chase.
When Buddy tore out, he went and got in the car, and I'm talking about they were smoking it, and I just walked my merry way back home.
That's a great story. I'll be honest. That's something you experience once in a lifetime.
Well, no, dude, stuff like that happens. Weird things interact. I think the only reason that even happened is just because I walked back down there. If I would have never made my way back down there, that would have never happened. Them guys would have had a nice slow night.
Like, your life is like, what was that show that Lemony Snicket series of enforcement?
Yeah.
That's like your life to a T, just minus all the weird shit going on.
It is
pretty weird, but it's not.
It is a series of unfortunate events.
That's pretty
Well,
cool.
we're making, dude, the podcast is going to make it better.
Dave, do you have a story you'd like to share with us? Anything you can think of off the top of your head?
Man, I really don't know. Well, I can tell you about whenever I scheduled my wisdom teeth appointment, and I didn't know that I was actually scheduling it.
Yeah, go ahead.
Because,
Tell us
like, you know, I was getting fussed at because my mouth was hurting, and of course, me being the big pussy I am, I was like, oh, I don't like having toothache. So I go to the dentist, hanging out, and the guy was like, all right, man, you got a infection in your tooth. He was like, we got two options. We can either cut it out, or we can give you antibiotics every 4 or 5 months. He was like, it's up to you. I'd probably go ahead and cut it out. So I was like, all right, whatever. I'll come back later. So I got home, thought about it, and I was like, well, I just want to go and see. Just see, the average roundabout. Nobody told me a consultation when you scheduled shit.
Yeah.
So I go up there, I'm talking to the guy, and he was like, all right, buddy, we're going to do this, we're going to do this. So I was like, all right, cool. So I leave, and the lady was like, you owe us some money. And I was like, for just telling me that this is what y'all wanting to do? She was like, well, yeah, it's just your consultation. I was like, all right, cool. So, I pay it. No big deal. I leave. Unbeknownst to me, I've made myself a wisdom tooth appointment for Labor Day weekend. Yeah. So, Thursday rolls around. My beautiful girlfriend takes me to the dentist. I get fucked up with a football bat. They cut my teeth out. And it feels like I got fucked up by a football bat. Because, dude, when I'm telling you, I would rather have my ass beat by 2 silverback gorillas
It fucking hurts,
than I
dude.
would have these teeth. And it was only 2 teeth, bro.
I had all 4 of my cut out. It was
Did you
fucking
have-
terrible.
So you had yours done.
Oh my god,
Okay.
that was
Honestly,
horrible.
dude, I enjoyed mine.
What the
Because
fuck?
when I got it taken out,
The fuck's wrong with you?
my
He's
mom,
retarded.
my mom took me, and so I get in there, dude, it felt like it went by like that. Like it was,
Oh yeah, it's because you're under anesthesia. Like when
You're
you
a
had
suit.
yours, like when you did yours, did they put you out?
So, since you told your wisdom story, I might as well tell mine. I had a bad reaction to the anesthesia. So I go in, I had mine done at some rinky-dink podunk fucking doctor's office in Vidalia. I go in there, and literally, like normally they have a stand with your IV on it, like hanging from it, the little bit. This shit was hanging from a fucking ceiling tile. They like took the ceiling tile and had it clipped on there.
Bicep band, pine straw, twine.
I fucking don't know what it was. I walked in there and I've never been put to sleep, so I'm already fucking, my anxiety's at an all-time
That's the
high.
best sleep you ever have.
So they put the little fucking IV in me, and I'm sitting there, and the lady said, we're sitting there talking, she said, you're gonna feel something cold go all over your body. I was like, okay. I said, is this the shit that's gonna put me to sleep? She said, no, this is just make you feel good. I was like, okay. And then immediately after she puts it in, I feel the cold. She's like, start counting back from 5. So I was like, wait a fucking minute. If this didn't put me to sleep, why am I counting back from 5? And by then I was already out. So, like, I have this reaction with alcohol too. Like, certain alcohols, like liquor, makes me fucking crazy. Like, I go crazy, try to break shit.
It
Like,
makes you paranoid, don't it?
it makes me just fucking crazy. Like, wanting to headbutt walls and shit. So that's why I don't partake in drinking. So, apparently, I don't remember any of this. My mom would probably be a better person to tell the story, but I'm gonna tell you what she told me happened. I wake up, and they let her come back there, and they keep telling me to stay seated because I'm not able to walk yet. So I try to get up and walk, and I just fall over, knock all the fucking tools and shit over. Pretty funny. And then they take,
It's like fuck your medical room.
yeah, she said I was cussing Raisin Hill. Well, they have a waiting room pre-op and then a post-op waiting room to make sure your blood clots like it's supposed to and you stop bleeding. So I go in the post, or I walk into the wrong waiting room at first. People are waiting to get their wisdom teeth cut out, and I'm Raisin Hill. So everybody in there is like scared, like, what the fuck did they do to this
They're like,
motherfucker?
dude, this is gonna be
I was like,
bad.
they didn't even cut out. My mom said I kept saying they didn't cut out my teeth, that they fucked me or they didn't finish or something. So then I go,
You can actually video touch, bro.
I might have. I don't know. I was asleep. So they take me to the post-op waiting room, and they said I just started flipping chairs over. I was going ape shit. So they were like, you have to get your son out of here. So my mom pulls the van around to the little pickup line or whatever, and she gets out to try to help me, and I said, I don't need no help. She's standing there just watching me. The car's running. I get in her van in the driver's seat. She's like, what are you doing? I was like, I'm fucking driving home. Get in. She's like, you can't drive? I was like, I'm driving.
Let me drive the boat.
Well, my grandpa was not the nicest man, especially when you're out there acting a fucking fool. He'd get pretty pissed off. He's like, get your ass in the passenger seat. Quit giving your mom a hard time because I was being an asshole. So they finally taught me into going over here.
Of
So,
course, if Grandpa says it, you do it.
oh, fuck you, I'm not fucking with him. Anyway, so we go to pick up my medicine. They prescribe me pain meds, like antibiotics, shit like that.
Yeah.
And Mom, we get there, and I'm spitting blood out in the CVS parking lot in Vidalia. And my grandpa's like, I'll go get his medicine, that way you can stay out here with him. So my grandpa goes in, and I'm out there just spitting blood up, like gagging, because the galls are like in my fucking throat. Like, it was fucked. And then Georgia State Patrol comes up, and I guess he thought I'd been drinking or something. I was out there raising hell, so he had a right to come talk to me. He comes and gets face to face with me. And he's like, "What's your problem?" And Mom said, I looked at her and said, "Fuck you." That's what she told me. So then by this time my grandpa was coming out. They wouldn't give me my medicine. You have to be an immediate family member or some shit. So then my grandpa, like, the dude keeps getting in my face, won't leave me alone. I was just laughing at him, Mom said. Then my grandpa got in his face. It was a long ordeal. But probably the funniest part is trying to eat a Frosty on the way home while you're fucked up. I was wearing my Letterman jacket, and that bitch was covered in chocolate Frosty by the time I got home.
See, nothing, like, I didn't have any of that happen. Like, we left, and they rolled me out, I got in the car, we left and just kind of went home, and I was like, "Is this it?" And she was like, "Yeah, dude, you're done." Like, I didn't spit up a lot of blood,
I was spitting blood everywhere.
nothing. But now the next day, I woke up and I rolled over and looked at her, and she was laughing, and I was like, "What's so fucking funny?" And dude, my face, when I say I look like hammered dog shit.
I had big ass cheeks, dude.
Dude,
They were fucking huge.
You know, I've got a fat face.
Yeah, you can't tell because of your beard.
And you
I think.
can't tell anymore because the swellings went down. Dude,
Yeah,
I look
yeah.
like I had the fucking mumps.
Dude, I FaceTimed you.
Yeah, I look like
right
shit.
after, like a couple hours after you got home.
Yeah, I remember that. I couldn't.
I was like,
fucking
"Are
hear
you okay?" And you're like, "No, I'm fine." And I was like, "Dude, you don't look fine. You look bad." But I mean, my experience was not terrible. Dude, whatever they gave me whenever I woke up, I was feeling
They
fantastic.
probably gave you that stinky pinky.
So,
Did y'all take y'all's pain medicine?
yeah.
I didn't take any of it.
Yeah,
Dude,
I still think
So,
Cheers.
when I woke up, anytime I ever drink too much or are on something like that, I get really patriotic. So in the middle, what the fuck?
Does that
Dude,
stick
listen.
or say virginity at all?
Yeah, that's my laptop.
Patriotic.
Carry on.
But anyway,
Shout out Danny Duncan.
so I lost my train of
You
thought.
say you got really patriotic.
Yeah,
when you
I
drink
get
or
really patriotic,
Take
so-
any kind of medicinal drugs.
So, dude,
Mushrooms,
I was singing.
Same
I
like
sang
that.
the Star Spangled Banner for an hour.
In Russian.
For an hour. Dude, those ladies in there were tripping out. Like
Probably
they,
want you to shut the fuck
I
up.
was in the like the
Probably.
post-op room where they're making sure it was clot broken and stuff, and just wailing the Star Spangled Banner. And so then, whenever we go to leave, my mom gets me in the vehicle. I was happy. All I could think about was the ducks and the geese at Fairview.
Those are some nice fucking geese.
I wanted to go see them so bad. So my mom took me to the Dollar General. She went and got bread. Keep in mind, I'm a 23-year-old man at this time.
Literally feeding geese.
And my family is watching me, high as a kite, out there feeding the ducks, going quack, 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 quack,
I
quack.
thought
And
you escaped from a mental like a
Right,
sock
they
board or
did.
something.
But I mean, they ate the bread though. So I mean, they just came up. But dude, I don't know what kind of pills they gave me for after. They were bad.
Probably
bad.
How's your coat on?
Dude, they were awesome. They gave me like 6 days worth of pain pills. I took them in 3.
Dude, they gave me
'Cause I
hydrocodone
was-
7.5 and 800 milligram ibuprofen. And when I say that the ibuprofen helps me better, because that hydrocodone is like eating a fucking sweet tart. Like it's
Bro.
nothing.
Whatever they gave me was kicking. My brother came home multiple times. One time I was in my sister's vehicle because her old car, the seats would like almost lay back into a bed position.
Takes phantoms gonna do that.
It is.
True.
All the windows down, I'm running the car off of the battery. Probably killed the crap out
You're
of it.
living your best life.
And just playing music and sleeping and high as a kite. It was, dude, I loved it. It was great. It was fantastic. I had nothing but, and I only got 2 taken out.
I got all 4 of
They said my top,
Terrible.
mine were growing in horizontally, like pushing up against my other teeth.
Mine were impacted.
So, but my
So
other
shit.
ones, my top ones are so high, they said they don't know if they ever get taken, or I'm ever going to have to, but I hope I do, because I had a great time.
You guys ever took an Ambien?
No.
You want to? But
I've never taken
get where you want to be for the next about 10 hours.
Well, see, dude, an Ambien, that's what Roseanne Barr took and got canceled. Because she got on Twitter with an Ambien and was just absolutely talking mad shit.
I took one, and when I come, like I was watching TV,
And I don't know, like, I have a tendency whenever I get intoxicated or under the influence of something, I want to go outside and I want to be with nature. You know, that's just me. Like, you know, I get drunk, I want to run my dogs around the yard. You know, I like doing things. And when I tell you, I won't take another Ambien again, I'm not, because when I come to, I was on a horse in my underwear in the middle of my field, and all I could see was flashlights because people were looking for me, and I was like, oh shit, the cops have come. So me and my horse just decided to ape ass across the field, and I'm literally like, I'm in my underwear, bro. It was
Just
a good
riding a
time.
horse.
Yeah, just
Dude,
looking
that
like
does sound,
Matt Dillon out there.
that sounds, dude, that sounds great. Just
It's
to-
not.
What would be great is just waking up every day, not having anything to do, but just go and farm and be a horser. And just get on your horse, you know, drive around in some circles, chase some cows with it.
Probably gotta go through a pond.
Yeah, like Yellowstone.
Yeah,
We should
it's
go.
still hard work though. Farming is still
We
hard
should
work.
do-
It probably
it is
sucks
hard work.
sometimes.
You ain't no
Oh, it
cowboy.
probably
but-
sucks all the
You
time.
ain't no cowboy if you ain't taking your horse crossing that pond.
That's true.
We need to go to your house and ride horses one
I
day.
don't have any more at my house.
You don't have any more?
No.
Well, I think we've come to an end of this podcast, boys. We've reached the 1 hour limit.
It's getting close.
We've had a good time though. 50th podcast was a success. We had video. It'll be up Monday. So isn't it Labor Day Monday?
Yeah.
Some shit
Yeah.
like that. Okay, so
Hey, tune
enjoy
in
your
with
Labor Day.
family.
Let your
Let your
family,
family listen to
and
podcasts.
tell a friend. Share this shit on Facebook. Share the fuck out of it. Let's get. I'm gonna go for 1,000 views on this. We should be able to clip up.
We're going for 10,000.
Hey, Tate.
If we get 10,000, I'll share
Also,
it.
we got
Instagram.
our new Instagram page.
New
Tate
Instagram
and
page.
Josh in
yeah.
the morning. We're gonna be putting mini clips up. Twitter, T and J in the AM. Y'all hit that stuff up because that's gonna be some. We're gonna be having a lot of funny clips, a lot of just like hot takes, things like that on there. That
Bloopers.
yeah, we can have some bloopers too. So because I mean, with me and Tate, you know, there's gonna be some
And
tragedies.
we've already had one. Thought we were recording for 15 minutes and weren't recording.
Bro,
So
there's no we to this.
yeah, just me.
God
And,
damn.
sorry guys.
It was probably the wig threw you off. I bet you won't
Yeah,
put that
dude,
wig
that's Will's first girlfriend out there. He practices making out with it. And shit.
No, don't give it to him. I feel bad.
I'm not. I'm getting as far away from
Yeah.
him. He's probably gonna cut a hole. in it.
We're gonna have to give her. We're gonna have to give her a name. Let's talk about it.
Sam the
Sam.
second. Sam the second.
But
Sammy's-
we're gonna have to get.
She's hot.
I have no idea where this fucking head came from, by the way.
I don't know.
Anyway,
We're gonna
But-
start getting some decorations for the table, maybe for behind us.
oh, he's definitely from behind us.
Do some, just do some stuff to make it more.
Y'all want to get
Interesting
a big
looking.
Erdrich USA flag back there?
Might as well.
Might as well.
That's where all this shit came from, basically.
Make y'all a shirt.
Friedrich sponsor us.
Good.
Anyway, without the fans, this wouldn't be possible. The few we have, so thank y'all, and we appreciate it.
I'm just
Happy
glad.
50th podcast to us.
I'm just glad y'all allowed me to be on.
Oh,
the show.
dude, it was
Thanks for coming.
fantastic.
That was a good time.
You were a good guest. You were funny as
This
shit.
was a fun one
This
because,
was a
like,
good one.
you know, the ones that we do that, like,
Oh,
a lot of the ones that we do with the like current events and stuff.
Mhm.
It's fun to have just like one that we just mess
Yeah,
around
we're just
on
fucking
and
around. Yeah, I love
Herd
it.
of boys.
just talk.
All right, so we appreciate y'all. Subscribe on all platforms, especially YouTube. Now that we have video, and we're out. Y'all have a good one.
Later, Gators.
Holla.